Hello everyone, this is my first ever video on YouTube. Still not sure if I'm gonna put it out there. I've tried to record quite a few videos now, but I just keep messing them up. It's very difficult for me to talk to a camera. It's very difficult for me to express my feelings. But I want to do this video to try and help others, because what I want to talk about is coming off Citlapram, an antidepressant also known as Celexa. It's a tablet that I've been on for about 9 years now due to a life event that happened. Quite a traumatic one. I won't go into it in this video, but it is something that happened. I felt that I couldn't cope, so I went to the doctors and I spoke to them about how I was feeling, and they made me fill out a form, and then they said, yep, you're clinically depressed, take these tablets. So that's what I did. That's all I did, sadly. I took the tablets. I've been taking them, like I said, for 9 years. Do I wish I hadn't? Yes. Antidepressants, well, there's an interesting topic. Like I said, 9 years ago, it was kind of like the done thing, you know. You go to the doctor, you're feeling low, they give you antidepressants. There's not much more to it than that. They say, you know, take these and see how you get on. That's what I did. But unfortunately, 9 years down the line, I've been still on them. In the 9 years that I've been on them, I've had no reviews from the doctor. Don't get me wrong, they've asked me to come in. I've kind of just ignored it and gone on with life. Sadly, that's not it's not been the way to do it, because obviously over the 9 years I've been taking these tablets, which I don't think I should have been taking them for 9 years, but I have been, and they've caused some catastrophic changes to me personally. Now, everybody deals with antidepressants differently. I understand that. Some people have to stay on them for their whole life. That's fine. You know, if you're one of those people, nothing wrong with that. If that's how you feel that you need to cope with life, so be it. You know, you do what you got to do to cope. But my story is, I wish I'd never touched the things. They've been in my body for so long, I've become so accustomed to them, and I don't really understand, or didn't really understand, what they could do to me as a person. I just thought they were there to help me, not potentially ruin me. The reason I'm doing this video is because, like I said, I came off the tablets 3 weeks ago yesterday. It's been the second hardest challenge of my whole life. I've been on this planet 37 years, and this has been tough. Really, really difficult. I did lots of research. I didn't go and see my doctor to come off these tablets, purely because I couldn't get an appointment. As with all doctors, NHS at this moment in time, due to various events that have been going on in the world, they are struggling, and I don't blame them. And I kind of feel like I'm a little bit of a burden, a little bit of a waste of time to go and speak to a doctor about this. So what I decided to do was I was going to do lots of research myself. I was going to watch lots of videos about or of people that have gone through this experience. You know, I've done all I could personally to find the best way to come off these tablets. Generally, the consensus, I think, is to, I think this is quite broad, is to basically taper down. If you're sensible, you taper down. I think it's like the common denominator is taper down over a month. Reduce your dosage accordingly. Now, I'm no professional. Don't take my advice on this. If you know, if you're thinking about coming off these tablets, go and speak to your doctor. I kind of wish I did, but I didn't, and that's what's happened. So I tapered down over about 3 months. I dropped my, I was on 20 milligrams a day every night, 20 milligrams a day. I tapered down from 20 to 10 for a month, and I did 5 for a month, and then, well, you can go and see a doctor, like I said, and you can get liquid form, so I've been told, to drop it down even slower. So you can go from like 5, which is like, cutting your tablet into quarters, down to liquid form at 2.5, and then down to 0. Of course, I didn't go and see my doctor, so I just did 5 and then off. But I did it for a considerable, sorry, wrong word, a lot longer than I was advised to. Sadly, I kind of feel that the advice is still slightly wrong, because, my God, yeah, I've come off these tablets, like I said 3 weeks ago yesterday, and it has been the second hardest experience of my life. I suppose it's only really over the last couple of days that I've been well enough in my mind to try and do a video for other people. Like I said, it's my first ever video. I'm not very good at this sort of stuff, so please understand that it's not professional. I'm not very clued up on all of this, video malarkey and how to edit it, and I just don't, it's just not who I am. I'm a builder by trade, so technology to me is a bit meh. I don't really understand it all too much, so I'm doing my best with this. And the reason why I'm doing this video is to try and help other people that decide that they want to come off antidepressants. Like I said, if you want to go and see a doctor, please do. If you want to do it yourself, then understand that it could be, I'm not saying it is, but it could be one of the hardest experiences you're going to go through. Sadly, all these 9 years ago when I was taking these tablets, obviously it was just a standard format. Here's a form, fill it out. Yep, you're clinically depressed. Yep, take these tablets. I kind of wish back then that I knew that they weren't the be all and end all. I suppose it's kind of like a magic pill. I was hoping that they would be a magic pill and they would, well, fix me. Naive, really. Stupid to think that, because they don't fix you. Well, in my case, I have found that they don't fix you. In my case, I found that they've actually made me worse. So I've been taking these tablets, and every year I suffer from anxiety and depression, every single year, and not just a couple of days of it. It's been bouts of it, like weeks at a time. It's affected who I am, my life, everybody around me. It's affected my business. It's a yearly struggle. But I went through the motions thinking that this was just how my life was going to be. But due to the effects that these tablets have had on me and around me, to the people around me especially, the closest person is my partner. She fully backed me 9 years ago when I decided that I needed help. I suppose she was quite naive to it as well, in the sense of, go and see a doctor, see what they say. So that's what we did. Well, that's what I did. It's been, I suppose, over the last sort of year or two, with continuously suffering, that my partner realised that, or come to the realisation, these tablets weren't good for me. They were changing who I was quite dramatically. I didn't see it. All right, I kind of could see that, I couldn't cry about things. My emotions were pretty somber. Didn't really care about the world, didn't really care about anybody else, didn't really care how people were feeling. So I kind of saw that, but I didn't add it together that the tablets were potentially doing that to me. So she begs me, basically, after suffering every year and putting everybody around me through a lot of pain and suffering, that she asked me, or begged me, to come off these tablets. So that's what I did. And I'm glad I have. I'm glad I've come off these tablets, and I hope that without these tablets I can somehow find a path in life that's gonna improve my life. Like I said, the tablets people use, or doctors, professionals use as a, they will do the job, but they do for some, but they don't for a lot. There are many other avenues to take: CBT, therapy, counselling, going to see a psychiatrist, mindfulness, law of attraction. There's so many other avenues you can take. And why I'm here is because I kind of want to say to people that if you're at one of your lowest points, now anybody that's suffered anxiety and depression like I have will know what I'm talking about. It brings you right into one. I find, especially with depression, anxiety is something that we all have in our daily lives. Some people notice it, some people don't. I kind of find that for me, I'll speak on my way of dealing with it, is that it's like meeting new people, things like that. That does bring up, for me, a sense of anxiety, which is common, and that's normal. Once you've met that person, or whatever it may be that you're going to do that's bringing on this anxiety, it kind of makes you a little bit stronger each time you go through it. But the anxiety that I also suffer is this debilitating anxiety where, you wake up every single day with this anxiety feeling in your chest, in your stomach. It's unbearable. And of course, I for one, that when I wake up with that, it then brings on all sorts of other things. And depression being one of the worst. When I came off these tablets 3 weeks ago, I knew in my mind that it was going to be a tough one. Of course it was. How could it not be? I've depended on these tablets for 9 years now. 9 years every single day I've depended on these tablets. So I came off them, and my experience coming off them is this. So I tapered down, I came off the tablet. Within the first week, I started to feel very anxious, uncontrollably anxious, which then in turn brought on depression. Then I was finding, because of the depression and anxiety, that I was bedbound. I couldn't wake up in the morning, was struggling, really struggling, really struggling. It was horrendous. Suffering from insomnia, shakes, emotions, everything on the withdrawal list I was suffering. Even though I tapered down for a lot longer than they said. So I kind of feel that this withdrawal symptom is it's more common than people like to admit. I kind of feel that these pharmaceutical companies and that, they all know what's going to happen. But of course, they're not going to advertise the fact, because then they'll never get the drugs out on the market, and people will never take them, which means they'll never make money. Sadly, pharmaceutical companies, they are there to make money. That is, that's their purpose. That's what they're there for. All right, they make drugs that help us all, and I get that. But with these antidepressants and things like that, I find they're terrible. Utterly terrible. For me personally, I think they are the worst thing you can take. I kind of wish that back in the day that I kind of knew there was other avenues to take, and then I wouldn't have potentially taken these tablets, especially if I'd known the withdrawals that I would have to face. Because these withdrawals have put me into a place which is far worse than when I first went on the tablets. I genuinely can't express how difficult the last 3 weeks of my life have been. I've suffered, like I said, with all the stuff that I've said. But one of the worst experiences I've had to go through over the last couple of weeks is suicidal thoughts. Even though throughout these 9 years that I've suffered with anxiety and depression yearly, like I said, I've never, ever had suicidal thoughts. I've always been low, really, really low, like don't know what to do, where to turn, how to cope with it. It's just like you roll with it, and you have to kind of roll with it and give it time, and then you'll one day wake up feeling a little bit better, and then it just gets better and better and better. But to have the last couple of weeks where I've had suicidal thoughts, not just normal, well, not just normal, because suicidal thoughts aren't normal, not just having suicidal thoughts. I've researched how to end my own life. I've researched many scenarios of how you end things. I've also, which is very hard for me to admit, written my funeral sort of list, specification, whatever you want to call it. And whilst I was writing that list, I was crying my eyes out. Like I said, the emotions over the last couple of weeks have been horrendous. I haven't really cried in 9 years. So to be finding myself crying for absolutely no reason is very unsettling for me. I'm not gonna lie, even this morning I was watching a video on social media, and stupid video, random video, and I was crying. Yeah, it's all very weird. It's a very weird couple of weeks I've been through, and it's not over yet. I'm still in it. I'm still suffering every day, but I'm hoping there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm hoping without these tablets I can learn to be myself again, and I'm hoping with all these other ways of helping yourself out there, that with the use of them I can start to really sort of pull myself together. That's my hope anyway. Like I said, I'm still in it. I'm still suffering every single day. It's absolutely awful. I don't envy anybody for going through this. Anxiety and depression I don't wish on my worst enemy. Literally, I don't wish it on anybody. If you've never experienced anxiety and depression, well, thank God for you, because if you ever do, you'll completely understand what I'm saying, or what I'm saying. Like I said, there's been many occasions at the moment where, you find yourself in these situations where people go, oh, just get a grip on yourself, or, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, not that easy, and sadly, people that come out with those sort of comments, they anger me, because you don't have a clue what you're talking about. Genuinely, you do not know what you're talking about. But I'm quite glad you don't know what you're talking about, because it means you've never suffered with anxiety and depression, and that's a good thing for you. I hope you never do. I really do hope you never do, because all right, we have things in life that we have to go through. I can only relate to anxiety and depression. I have had other medical conditions that have been potentially life-threatening and very scary, and I've gone through them, and even they have not been as bad as anxiety and depression. God's honest truth. You are gonna eventually determine, I assume, if you're watching this video, that you're going to come off these tablets, and power to you. It's going to be a hard road, but I hope you get through it. You just got to bear with it, stick with it, find other avenues to help yourself, speak to people. I'm not very lucky in that respect. I don't have a lot of people I can talk to, and I seem to find that at this moment, going through what I've been going through, typically people closest to me are going through their own stuff as well, so it's very hard for them to help me, which is understandable. We've all got stuff to go through, and sometimes you just can't help other people. They've needed me, and I can't do it. I just physically can't do it for them. I can't be there to help them. I'm struggling to help myself, let alone anything else. If you come to your point in your life where you feel these unknown emotions, you don't know what they are, don't immediately go to your doctor. Some people have to go to the doctor, and I get that. But my advice to you is don't. Seek other professionals first. Go and have counselling. Go and have all sorts of different therapies. You know, I'm not saying you can afford it. A lot of these services, or some of these services, are available in the NHS. Obviously, I understand, very much understand, that the NHS is stretched beyond their limits. And I kind of find when you feel that you need this help, you need it there and then, not weeks down the line, which unfortunately is a failure on the NHS behalf, because, you know, they do what they can to get you in to see someone, but it just takes too long. So for me personally, I had to pay for a lot of services, which is what I was lucky. I was in a position where I could pay for these services. Barely, but I did, and they have helped. And you know, I'm speaking to a therapist right now. Well, not right this very moment, but I'm in the process of talking to a therapist as well, because I need help. I'm not scared to admit that. I'm coming off these tablets. Like I said, it's been horrendous. Even though I've suffered with anxiety and depression yearly, I still don't have all the answers. I still get stuck in that moment where you just don't know how to come out of it. I think that's quite a common thing. People just get locked in. It overtakes your mind. It overtakes everything about you. By the end of the day, if you want to come off these tablets, come off them, but know you've got a hard road ahead of yourself. Try and be in a good position when you make that decision. One thing I will say, or a tip that I will give you, is when you're in anxiety and depression state, quite a bad state, don't make decisions that are life-changing decisions. Don't really do anything that requires a decision from your own mind, because your own mind is not working properly, and it's the worst time to make a decision. But make little decisions, like beneficial decisions. Go and help yourself, go and speak to people, try and speak to your family, try and speak to your friends, try and do something to share your pain, because if you try and take the pain on yourself, you will most likely suffer more, and it will take longer, in my opinion. I'm no expert on all this sort of stuff, but I've gone through it, I've been through it, I am going through it. Just give yourself a break, try and sleep, try and rest, do what you've got to do to come out the other side. If you're in a position where you can come off antidepressants, like I said, good. They're not going to fix who you are, and in some cases like mine, they make you worse. When you get anxiety and depression like this, know that there's a problem. There's an underlying issue within you that needs to be resolved. For me, I know that it's basically not coping with situations when they come up. I know the event that happened to me 9 years ago, I didn't deal with. Subsequently, everything that's happened since, I haven't dealt with. So I know that I've got to get all of this out of my system and hope that that is something that will better my life, would take some pressure off me and help me to become the person that I want to be. If you feel that you've you know, like I said, you're at these lowest points, do everything you can to stay off these tablets. Don't become dependent on them. It's the worst thing, in my opinion, that you can do. I've done it, I'm there, it's awful. what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another video in about a week's time, I hope. Depends how this video comes out. I'm going to try and do another video and just let you know how I'm getting on. Like I said, these withdrawals can go on for they've been known to go on for weeks, months, years. I can only hope that, you know, this situation improves quicker for me than most. So I hope. You know, we are what, 4 or 5 weeks away from Christmas, and I generally don't want to go through Christmas feeling like this. But it is what it is. Just know that there's people out there that will help you. Don't suffer in silence. Try and speak to as many people as you can. I know it's so hard. The last thing you want to do is even get out of bed. But just try. Send a message, you know. Do something to help yourself. Hopefully, as time goes on, my brain will become a little bit clearer and I can do better videos. Because at the moment there's so much going around in my brain that it's very hard for me to put it out there without it coming out all over the place, which this video probably does, or probably is coming out all over the place. But hey, I'm trying, and that's a first step for me. Try. So don't give up, everyone. You know, antidepressants, withdrawals, everything, it's a struggle, but don't give it up. I completely understand how people can get to the lowest points in their life where they commit suicide. But sadly, I've come to very much realize that it's all well and good potentially doing that, but all you're doing is passing your pain onto someone else. It's all you're doing. You know, it's easy for you. You've called it a day. You are no more. You ain't gonna feel nothing, no pain. But just think, and think deeply, that the people around you, your partner, kids, mum and dad, whatever it may be, whoever it may be, is gonna struggle, and all you're gonna do is pass on your struggles to them, which ultimately causes a much bigger problem down the line, which I think is something that this world is now starting to see. You know, anxiety and depression is a horrendous thing that, you know, more and more of us are struggling with all the time. But like I said, don't struggle in silence. You know, the best thing I've found that you can do is talk to people. You know, try and figure out what's going on within you and try and make amends. But please don't rely on the tablets. Because I can tell you now that they for me have not been the wisest choice. Like I said, in about a week's time I'll try and do another video. I'm also going to do another video to explain what happened in my life 9 years ago to basically start this event, or start these last 9 years of struggling. There's many more things that have happened in my life, but you know, maybe one day I'll broach those, I don't know. But you know, for now I just wanted to kind of do a little video that probably doesn't make a lot of sense to try and help someone else. If I've helped one person today, or someone out there is watching this video that's going through these massive struggles, then you know, hopefully it's helped someone just a tiny weeny bit. You're not alone, remember that. You are definitely not alone. There are hundreds of thousands of people in this world from all walks of life. Doesn't matter, you know, who you are, where your life is. There's so many of us that struggle. And know that you're probably not going to be the only one that struggles. And you're not the only one that struggles. There are so many people in the world that are struggling. So when you're laid there in your bed and you wake up and you feel anxious and depressed and there's nothing more you can think about than that, just try and think there is someone else in the world who is struggling exactly like you are. They are thinking the same things you are. They are going through the same emotions you are. So try and keep hold of that. It kind of helps you just not feel so alone. You know, it's not great that we're all going through it, or there's lots of us going through it, but just it's kind of like a little bit of relief to know that you're not the only one. Yeah, if you're watching this video today and you're going through this today, know that I have as well. I woke up feeling horrendous. I woke up not wanting to face the world. I didn't want to wake up. But hey, I'm here. I'm in my van. I'm doing my work. Dragged myself out. Doing what I got to do. And try and do that also, because I know it's so easy for me to say, but it will help. Little steps, baby steps are what makes all the difference. So anyway, I'm going to leave this video here. I'm sorry it's probably come across very unprofessional, and I'm sorry that I may have repeated myself a million times, but sadly with my brain being the way it is, it's very difficult at the moment. But hey, hopefully in a week's time I'll touch base again and we can you know, continue to go through it. Well, hopefully not in a week's time, but you never know. So anyway, take good care of yourself, people. I'll speak to you soon.